Hey, it's Richard Geller. Boy, we have some really interesting stuff today. You have got to hear about this. Here's what I'm going to cover. I'm going to talk about very, very striking information about loan mods that comes out of the news today. I told you about this a few days ago, so it's not going to be a complete surprise, but there's a real key gotcha in there that you've got to be aware of. Also, we're going to talk about basically how to fill out an application for a loan mod if you have an LLC or corporation that owns property. You know, I came out just recently with a product now that explains to you the Truth in Lending Act, TILA. You can get it at gettilasecrets.org, and it tells you about, it's not going to tell you how to audit your loan to see if there have been violations, but it's going to tell you kind of the legal stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else about TILA, how it affects you, what your remedies are, and so forth. I got to tell you, the lenders are scared stiff with this TILA thing because millions of loans were done with violations. I had talked to lawyers who specialize in this who have told me that they have never seen a loan package that did not have important TILA violations, Truth in Lending Act violations. And the remedies for Truth in Lending Act violations are rescission. That means that you can take the loan back. Now, you have to give them the money back, so that's not really easy for people, but there are ways around this. And the lender basically can't charge you any interest. They have to give you all the interest back that you have ever paid on the loan. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm probably totally full of it. You really should get some real advice. But my understanding of it is that that is the case. So, you got to realize that since so many millions of loans are made with violations, the lenders are really scared people are going to start understanding their rights and knowing what to do. Now, I told you the other day, I said that we are coming to a point where the bankruptcy courts are going to be allowed to do what's called a cram down. They're going to be allowed to reduce people's mortgage, how much they owe, everything in bankruptcy. The first domino to fall is Citibank. Citibank worked this deal out where they said they're going to allow bankruptcy courts to adjust their mortgages. So people could get principal reductions by the bankruptcy court. You'd have to file bankruptcy, and apparently it'd have to be a Chapter 13. But I want to tell you what the gotcha is here. See, and this is what it's all about. You've got to look for what's going on inside. This is my one of the best sources, really, of I guess you couldn't see that. The exposure isn't good. Let me see if I can get it that way. Ah, ha, 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 ha. The New York Times really has some great stuff. I think their stuff is very good. And it comes out today. You got to go to page 2 to understand this. Okay, they say they reached an agreement, Citibank, to allow cram downs in mortgage court, which will allow principal reductions. And guess what? Got to look very carefully in here. One of the conditions is that, only existing mortgages will be eligible, so they're only going to do existing ones if you already have a mortgage with Citibank. Homeowners will have to certify they tried to get a loan mod, okay, and only major violations of the Truth in Lending Act will cause lenders to forfeit their claims in bankruptcy. That's basically the key to this whole thing. Sure, they'll allow a principal reduction for someone that's absolutely in bankruptcy anyway, but that person has to give up any of their Truth in Lending Act rights that they would have against the lender. So there you have it. This is basically a huge effort to get around these massive Truth in Lending violations. So that's one thing I wanted to alert you of. I will make you and my paid subscribers especially aware of all this. Now, we're doing a loan mod seminar very soon, and I've got some all kinds of new information about loan mods, and I'm going to be sending paid subscribers a link, so you're going to be able to go and get the newest paperwork for loan mods, the newest contracts to use, and some of the newest information. And in the upcoming seminar, you're going to learn about all the new stuff that just came out about loan mods. That should be in about a week and a half. So that's wanted to tell you about that. We're also doing a short sale seminar on Tuesday, which is going to be a lot of new stuff on short sales and what's going on with short sales. Kind of a continuation of the seminar we did in December. We had hundreds of people subscribe to that seminar, and we couldn't take all the people that had a lot of questions. Hopefully we'll be able to take a lot of your questions, and we'll be able to to present some of the stuff for people that couldn't make it over the holidays or where we didn't have enough room in the course. So that's coming up on, and I also want to talk to you now about how do you report a limited liability company if your lender asks you to fill out a financial statement. If you're doing a short sale or a loan mod, very often the lender will ask you to do a statement of net worth, or a balance sheet, as many of us call it, or a statement of assets and liabilities. They're all the same thing. Net worth, assets and liabilities, balance sheet. Basically what you're doing is you're telling the lender all the places that you owe money to, which are your liabilities, and you're giving them all the things that you own, your assets. And if you do this, I want to warn you about something. Okay, don't lie. It's a crime. It's fraud. And I know at least one person who has gone to prison for basically lying. He ended up in a bankruptcy situation, and he didn't ever know he would be in. And he was caught up in a big lie. What he did was he parked assets. He moved a major asset off of his name into someone else's name, but he really still secretly owned it. So I don't recommend you try this. I really don't. You got to tell the truth. So if you're going to do a short sale loan mod, you have to work within the law. You have to tell people what things are worth. Now, if you have a piece of property, it may be in a limited liability company or a trust or a corporation. So how do you put that on your statement to the lender? So you don't have to put real estate down if a limited liability company owns it, but you do have to tell about your membership interest, your ownership interest in the limited liability company, and you have to have some type of valuation that you attach to it. That's really the key. So you could talk to your accountant about it. You need to value this fairly and give the lender the fair valuation. Now, as I've talked about before, there are different types of fair valuation. There's a valuation if you were to try to sell your limited liability company and you had months of time to sell it, how much would it get? Or if you had to sell it today at auction under a distress situation, how much would it get? They're totally different. So you're not obligated to tell the lender in general how you value your assets, but you do have to have a valuation that's consistent and specific and makes sense. So what you have to do is write your membership share in a limited liability company and assign it a valuation that you can back up if you're asked. That's what you really want to do. So right now, I encourage you to go get Loan Mod Secrets at getloanmodsecrets.org if you want to be on the get all the latest information on it. And if you're interested in the TILA package, gettilasecrets.org. You could pick that package up, and we'll talk to you at the short sale seminar or in the Loan Mod course. Subscribers, you can get a link. You're going to get a link where you're going to get all the latest forums and information that for the latest in loan mods, if you're doing loan mods for profit. It's Richard Geller. If you're seeing this video on another website, go to getloanmodsecrets.org. Make sure you're on my list. You'll get these videos and information. I will talk with you soon. Thanks so much.